In an election year marked by intense polarization, the Senate race in Delaware is notable for its tranquility.
I always describe Delaware as basically almost an overgrown small town. It's a state that is a large county. It's classic retail politics. People expect to see their candidates, and they really expect to know them.
And that's what's driving Democrat Chris Coons and Republicans Mike Castle and his long-shot primary opponent, Christine O'Donnell, as they campaign for Vice President Joe Biden's old seat. The candidates crisscross the state to chow down on crab, drink beer, and meet and greet voters, many of whom they've known for years.
Well, it's a convent we have every year. I do, and I've been doing it for 41 years, and I just invite all my friends and a lot of the politicians and stuff like that, and elected officials.
How are you? Nice to see you. I'm fine, thank you.
In this heavily Democratic state, 9-term Republican Congressman Mike Castle has demonstrated he knows how to win votes from across the political spectrum.
I realize that in Delaware, for me to get elected, I can't get into a straight Republican-Democrat race, or I probably won't come out on top. So I've always appealed heavily to independents and to Democrats.
Well, I'm a registered Democrat and stuff, but I do vote a little Republican once in a while, and when a man I know liked and that I can talk to.
I have to say I would vote for Representative Castle for the Senate. He knows the lay of the land. He's been somewhat effective, I would have to say, as a representative.
Mike Castle, definitely Mike Castle.
Of course, not everyone loves Mike Castle.
Mike Castle, in my opinion, is very liberal on policy, and he's making the wrong decisions, and he's not listening to his constituents.
While the Delaware Tea Party is trying to brew opposition to incumbent Castle, its influence is weaker than in other parts of the country.
Anti-incumbency in Delaware probably has less influence in a larger sense than it does in most states, simply because people know Mike Castle, they're getting to know Chris Coons more statewide, and as they do, they're going to look at the two men and decide.
In the general election, Chris Coons, the chief executive of the state's largest county, will need to win over the independents and Democrats who've helped to keep Republican Castle in office. His plan is to convince them that Castle, by voting against the health care and stimulus bills, has veered too far to the right.
His biggest challenge is his voting record. This is a solidly Democratic state, a state that in general supports the direction of change that we all voted for in 2008. And Mike Castle has consistently, over the last few years, has moved his votes and is now voting more in line with his party than with his state.
Coons, along with state and local politicians, wooed voters at the 17th annual Old Time Peach Festival in the heart of Middletown, 20 miles south of Wilmington. Once a sleepy farming community, Middletown is developing rapidly. Both candidates will be heavily courting the area's voters, many of whom are new to the state. Rolling into November, Democrats know that beating Castle will be a tall order. They might take some solace in the fact that Democrat John Carney is poised to capture Castle's House seat, which, at the end of the day, is one of the party's few pickup opportunities.